The evening settles gently over the landscape as you step onto the path that follows the outer line of a long forest. The trees stand in a quiet row, neither too close nor too distant, forming a soft wall of branches that guide you forward without pressing in on you. Their leaves rest in stillness, touched only by the lightest movement in the air. Nothing pulls your attention sharply. Everything eases you into a slower rhythm without effort. You walk at a comfortable pace, not too slow, not too quick, and the ground beneath your feet feels even and reliable. The forest stays on your right side, steady and calm, while an open stretch of grass extends on your left, creating a wide space that gives your mind room to settle. The light in the sky has softened into an early evening shade, warm at the edges and deeper near the tree line. It's the kind of light that doesn't ask anything from you. It simply hangs there, waiting for you to join it. As you move forward, you notice how the trees are different in height. Some are tall and straight, others lean slightly, as if relaxing into the evening. The air along the forest edge has its own kind of softness. It carries a mild, earthy scent, something light and familiar. It's the scent that appears when trees release the warmth they held during the day. It rises gently now, blending with the coolness that begins to gather as the sun lowers further behind the open stretch. You breathe it in without thinking, and your shoulders loosen a little more. As you continue, the path widens in some places and narrows slightly in others, but never in a way that interrupts your pace. The ground is clear and smooth, free of obstacles. You don't need to watch your steps. You can let your attention drift naturally from the trees to the open field and back again. The forest edge keeps you grounded, while the open side gives you space. The balance is quiet and soothing. Far ahead, you see how the forest curves lightly, creating a gentle bend in the path. There's no sharp turn, no sudden shift. Everything remains soft and predictable. You approach the curve slowly, and with each step, the trees seem to move with you, revealing new spaces between their trunks while hiding others. They create an ever-changing pattern without actually changing at all. You let your eyes follow the shapes only when they want to. Nothing demands focus. The sound around you is mild. A distant rustle. A soft movement somewhere deep within the trees. A faint settling of leaves as the evening air cools them. No strong noises, no sudden breaks. Everything blends together into a calm background that supports your quiet progression along the edge. If you listen closely, you might catch the slow rise and fall of your own breaths mixing into the evening, as if you're part of the landscape without needing to do anything for it. The curve reveals more of the forest, and now the trees stand slightly farther apart. The space between them shows more depth, though the interior still feels calm and undisturbed. You don't step inside. You remain here, where the line between open land and forest meets. The place where everything feels balanced. You keep walking, steady and relaxed. A few minutes later, the ground becomes even softer under your feet. The path is covered with a thin layer of fallen leaves that didn't blow far from the trees. They cushion each step, adding a gentle texture to your walk. The sound they make is subtle, almost too soft to notice unless you pay attention. It's not a crisp sound. It's more like a faint whisper that follows behind you in small intervals. You let it blend with the quiet evening. Ahead, the forest edge grows a bit denser again, though not in a heavy way. The trunks stand a little closer, and the shade deepens slightly under the lowest branches. The path remains bright enough, illuminated by the softened sky. The contrast feels calm, not sharp. It adds a gentle layer of depth to your surroundings. You walk alongside it without stepping closer than you need to. From time to time, a small breeze drifts past, carrying a cool touch from the open side. It brushes gently along your arms, passes over your shoulders, and disappears again in the space behind you. The movement is smooth and even. Nothing about it is sudden. It's the kind of breeze that feels like part of the forest breathing out at the end of the day. The more you continue, the more your thoughts loosen. They stretch out naturally, like they're following the length of the forest. If a thought arrives, it stays for a moment and then drifts away again without pushing or pulling. The path keeps moving forward in its gentle line, and you move with it, unhurried. You reach a section where the trees lean slightly inward. Their branches extend just far enough to create a shallow arch above the edge. The branches don't block the path. They simply hover over it, adding a soft frame overhead. The leaves filter the remaining daylight into gentle patterns on the ground, shapes that shift slowly with the lowering sun. You walk under the quiet arch, letting the darkened branches offer a moment of shade before the path widens again. As you step out from under the branches, you notice how the air feels a little cooler now. Evening has taken a firmer hold on the landscape. The colors around you deepen. the forest becomes a darker silhouette, while the open field holds on to the last traces of the light. The contrast remains smooth and pleasant, like a slow transition you can feel rather than see. You continue along the path, and the trees on the right start to grow taller. Their branches rise higher, leaving more open space beneath them. This creates a wide, airy feeling along the forest edge. You can see further between the trunks now. Though the light inside has dimmed enough that the details blend softly together. You don't try to separate the shapes. You let them form one calm, continuous presence. Your feet continue to move at a natural pace. The even ground supports each step with the same steady feel. There's comfort in repetition, in the predictable motion, in the slow unfolding of the landscape around you. Nothing distracts you from the ease of your walk. Everything holds the same soft tone. A few moments later, the path dips only slightly, a gentle slope that doesn't require effort. The trees respond to this shift, standing a little higher on the right side, while the open ground on the left lowers very subtly. You'll hardly notice the change until you feel the tiniest shift in how your feet land. It's a comfortable difference, adding a slight variation without breaking the flow. The dip levels out again, and you move into another long stretch where the forest edge straightens. The trees return to a regular pattern, evenly spaced but not rigid. Their trunk create vertical lines that guide your eyes forward, leading you deeper into the calm of the evening. The sky has now settled into a continuous soft tone, neither bright nor fully dim, just steady and smooth. You breathe in slowly, letting your lungs fill with the cool air. It feels clean, unhurried. As you exhale, your shoulders relax further, and your attention slides gently back to the landscape. The forest seems to move with your breath, not physically, but in a quiet way that natural spaces often match the pace of your body. Eventually, you reach a place where the trees on your right pull slightly away from the path, leaving a wider open margin between the trunks and the line of grass. This space feels calm and spacious, as if the forest is giving you room to walk beside it without crowding you. You stay in the center of the path, letting the openness settle around you like a soft blanket. A faint sound rises from deeper inside the forest. It's not sharp, it's not alarming, it's simply a small shift in the leaves. Maybe from the cooler air settling in. The sound fades quickly, returning the forest to its quiet composure. You let it pass without holding onto it. It feels natural, part of the slow transition into the night. Far ahead, the path begins to curve again, though so gradually that you almost miss it at first. The curve seems to form naturally around a group of trees that stands a bit closer to the edge. Their branches dip slightly towards the path. Though not low enough to disturb your steps. You follow the curve, letting it guide you without thinking. The forest on your right adjusts slowly as you move, showing new patterns of trunks and shadows. As the curves settle into another straight line, the forest edge becomes more textured. The trees vary slightly in thickness and height, but they maintain the same gentle alignment. Their leaves hold the last hint of color, now turning into deeper shades as the evening darkens. The air cools a bit further, brushing your face with a smooth, steady touch. You continue walking, feeling the subtle comfort in the way the forest accompanies you. It stays present, constant, like a quiet presence you can rely on. It doesn't change abruptly, it doesn't demand attention, it simply moves alongside you in its silent, steady way. Minutes pass without anything needing to happen. You walk. The forest stands. The air cools. The path continues. The open space on your left holds on to the final light, creating a soft balance between shadow and faint glow. Your breathing stays even. Your steps stay calm. Nothing interrupts. As you progress further, the forest becomes slightly darker, though never unfriendly. The shapes of the trees blend together into a unified form, a long silhouette running parallel to your path. It's like walking beside a calm companion who says nothing, who moves at your pace, who listens without speaking. You feel the ground shift gently once more, but only by a small degree. The path rises a little, offering a subtle lift under your feet. It doesn't feel like a climb. It feels like the land simply adjusting the way it holds you. The change lasts only a few minutes before the ground levels out again. In this new section, the trees over your right are spaced a little farther apart. There's enough room between them for the evening air to drift lazily across the forest floor. You imagine the coolness moving slowly among the trunks, settling over the roots, collecting in the low spaces before rising again to merge with the air on the path. The forest edge becomes lighter again for a moment, as the sky's faint glow touches the higher branches. You walk through this soft transition, letting the gentle mix of shadow and light wrap around you without any effort. Everything feels even and steady. The path continues onward, offering no obstacles, no sharp turns, no surprises. It's deliberate in its calmness, as if shaped to support this quiet walk along the boundary between the forest and open land. You follow its line, trusting its steady direction. Eventually, the forest enters a deeper shade as night continues to settle. The open side holds a thin layer of light, just enough to show the outline of the grass and soft shape of the ground. The contrast creates a peaceful duality, shadow on one side, a faint glow on the other. You stay in the middle, where both sides meet in a quiet balance. Your pace slows naturally, not because you're tired, but because the atmosphere around you invites a slower motion. Your steps feel softer now, lighter, almost as if the ground is cushioning them more gently. The air around you grows still again, the breeze fading into a resting state. You breathe in deeply, feeling the coolness settle inside your chest. When you exhale, a calm awareness fills the space around you. The forest remains at your side, unchanging in its steady presence. You continue walking through the soft evening, surrounded by quiet. Nothing else needs to happen. Nothing needs to be reached. The path stretches on, and you follow it with ease. The forest guiding you in silence as night slowly gathers.